Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, this is Inorganic Material Chemistry, Chem 3115, and the topic which we are going to discuss is sputtering. This is a big topic, so it has been distributed into more than one lectures. This is the first lecture of sputtering 1. The key concepts during all of this topic which we will discuss, they are sputtering, basic mechanism of sputtering, then we will discuss about sputter deposition and a little difference between sputtering and sputter deposition. Then resputtering, we will also discuss factors affecting sputtering, primary and secondary knock-on procedures, reasons for sputtering, requirements to do sputtering, steps for sputtering, unique characteristics, advantages and disadvantages of sputtering, applications of sputtering, sputtering deposition film growth, and glow discharge sputtering. There are different kinds of glow discharge sputtering like direct current or radio frequency diode sputtering, triode sputtering, magnetron sputtering. We will also discuss about additional methods of sputtering like ion beam sputtering, reactive sputtering, non-reactive sputtering, collimated sputtering, and diode sputtering. However, in this lecture, we will discuss about basic mechanism of sputtering, introduction of sputtering. Starting from introduction of sputtering, it is well known that the thin film deposition is getting very much attention in research these days. The different researchers are growing thin films, they are depositing thin films on the surface of some substrate materials to get more better properties of the substrate materials. For example, in artificial jewelry, we know that the core of the jewelry is some cheap metal, and we deposit a thin film of some expensive metal like gold or silver on the surface of a cheap metal, and we get the jewelry which looks like original, just like made of gold or silver. So this is why thin film deposition is very important these days. Thin film deposition can be carried out by two different kind of processes. Number one, physical processes, and number two, chemical processes. The physical processes can be just like evaporation. There are different kind of evaporation: thermal evaporation, electron beam evaporation, laser or ion plating. Another method can be sputtering, and there are different types of sputtering like direct current, DC sputtering, radio frequency, magnetron sputtering, reactive sputtering. Another physical process is spray. This can be carried out by flame or by plasma. On the other hand, the second method of thin film deposition, that is chemical processes, which includes chemical vapor deposition, plating. The chemical vapor deposition, CVD, can be of different types. Similarly, plating can be of different types. And other method which can be used for the thin film deposition, that is molecular beam epitaxy. In this diagram we can see, here we have a substrate material and we deposit a film on the surface of this substrate material. So we can use either physical methods or we can use chemical methods. Physical methods, for example, evaporation or sputtering. Chemical methods like chemical vapor deposition, atomic layer deposition, ALD method. So these are different methods for thin film deposition. If we simply talk about physical processes, then the evaporation is the simplest physical process for the deposition of a thin film. In vacuum evaporation, we heat a source material which is placed under vacuum. We heat the source material to a such extent that finally it evaporates or sublimates. The vapors which are coming by the evaporation of the source material, they are deposited onto a substrate to form a thin film. So this vacuum evaporation, it is a physical vapor deposition process. This process gives high deposition rate. It is very simple process. It is easy to use. Usually conductor materials in electronic circuits and devices. Some dielectric and optical coatings are carried out by using physical evaporation method. Here is the picture showing two different kinds of evaporation methods. One is the thermal evaporation and the second one is electron beam evaporation. In thermal evaporation, we can see this is a source material. We also called the source material as a target material. This is aluminium, pure aluminium metal. We heat this aluminium in a heating board. So this is hot aluminium metal. On heating, it evaporates. Aluminium vapors come off from this source material, and these vapors are deposited on the surface of wafer. Wafer is a substrate here. So this is thermal evaporation. On the other hand, in electron beam evaporation procedure, we are not using a heating mantle or a heating source. Instead of that, we are using electron beam source. These electrons strike to the source material or target material. The target material is placed in a crucible which is water cooled. So we are not using any heating source. Instead of that, we are using electron source, electron beam source, and these electrons are striking to the source material. Aluminium vapors are coming off from the source material and they are deposited in the same way just like we have deposited in thermal evaporation. So here wafer is a substrate. So aluminium vapors are deposited to form a thin film on the surface of a wafer. Usually these processes, they are carried out in vacuum or at very low pressure. So the gas pressure is less than 10 raised to power minus 5 torr, which is very low, just like vacuum. So this is why we use the word vacuum evaporation. So this is a simple method, vacuum evaporation, to grow thin film on the surface of the substrate. Continuing from evaporation, we come to sputtering. What is sputtering? Just like evaporation is a physical vapor deposition process, similarly sputtering is also a physical vapor deposition process. Sputtering is a physical process in which atoms in a solid state, which is a target material or source material, the atoms are released and pass into the gas phase by bombardment with energetic ions. These energetic ions mainly come from noble gas. So these are mainly noble gas ions. So sputtering is just a procedure in which we bombard noble gas ions on a solid state target source material, and the atoms are released by the bombardment of noble gas ions from the surface of the target material. So this process is sputtering. Sputtering is usually understood as sputter deposition. Here there is a little difference between sputtering and sputter deposition. In sputtering, we release atoms from the surface of a target material. So if we deposit these atoms which are released from the surface of a target material, if we deposit these atoms on the surface of a substrate, then the process is called sputter deposition. So sputter deposition is a high vacuum based coating technique belonging to the group of physical vapor deposition process. So this is a little difference between sputtering and sputter deposition. In sputtering we just release the atoms, and in sputter deposition we deposit those atoms. So actually the sputtering process is used for sputter deposition. Furthermore, sputtering in surface physics is used as cleaning method for the preparation of high purity surfaces and as a method for analyzing the chemical composition of the surface. So in sputtering process we simply release atoms from the surface of a source material. So if the source material surface is required to be cleaned, so we will sputter off, we will release atoms from the surface, and the surface will be cleaned in this method, and we will get high purity surface. For example, if we have a metal just like a piece of iron and it has been corroded, corrosion is present on the surface of the iron piece, we simply sputter the corrosion atoms from the surface of the iron and it will be cleaned. Instead of the cleaning, this is a method for analyzing the chemical composition of surfaces. So we will sputter off the atoms from the surface and we will analyze those atoms, and from where we can get information about the chemical composition of the surfaces. So what about the process of sputtering? The principle of sputtering is to use the energy of a plasma. Here we use the word mainly noble gas ions. So these noble gas ions, they are actually in the form of plasma. Plasma is a fourth state of matter which contains neutral atoms, ionized atoms, ions, and also electrons. So in gaseous state, the mixture of neutral atoms, ions, and electrons is called plasma. So the plasma strikes on the surface of a target cathode to pull the atoms of the material one by one and deposit them on the substrate. To do this process, the plasma is created first. The plasma is created by ionization of a pure gas, and usually we use noble gases to produce plasma by ionizing. Usually argon gas is used and it is ionized by using the potential difference from pulsed direct current or electromagnetic excitation, which can be radio frequency waves or micro frequency waves. So in simple principle, the sputtering uses the energy of the plasma to release the atoms from the surface of a target cathode, and these atoms are deposited on the surface of a substrate. Okay, a little about sputtering in Urdu language. In Urdu, we can say that raal jaad gussa mein bolna. So if a person is speaking angrily, that is called sputtering. In chemical and physical sciences, sputtering is a process whereby coating material is dislodged, is removed and ejected from the solid surface due to the momentum exchange associated with surface bombardment by energetic particles. So this is a simple definition of sputtering. It is a process in which we eject atoms from the solid surface of a target material by bombarding the energetic particles. So the removing of these atoms, this is just like a person is speaking angrily. Generally, sputtering is a term used to describe the mechanism in which atoms are ejected from the surface of a material when that surface is struck by sufficiently energetic particles. This process is used for the growth of thin films like metallic films, for example, aluminium alloys, titanium, tantalum, nickel, cobalt, gold, and other metals deposition. Historically, this technique was discovered in 1852 and developed as a thin film deposition technique by Langmuir in 1920. Here are two pictures which are showing the sputtering procedure. In the figure on the right side, we can see this is the surface of a target material, a source material. This is first layer of atoms at the surface of target material, which are circular round atoms in green color. Behind the first layer of the atoms, there is another layer. These atoms are called lattice atoms. The first layer atoms are called surface atoms, and the atoms behind the surface atoms, they are called lattice atoms. This is incident ion, which is positively charged. This ion strikes the surface of the target or source material. After striking the surface, it can result in different things. For example, in first consequence, the incident ion after striking the surface, it can go back as such just like it has struck the surface, and we will get reflected ion. Another result can be a secondary electron can be produced and the atom can absorb the secondary electron and it can reflect it back as a neutral atom. On the other hand, this incident ion, it will strike the surface and the atom on the surface will exert a pressure on lower atoms, and in a circular path, finally the force will be exerted on another surface atom which will be ejected. So we will call this atom as sputtered atom. Similarly, the incident ion can exert a force on lattice atoms, and the lattice atoms can reflect that force, which can also result in the sputtering of atoms. In the left figure, we can see these are layers of atoms on the surface of the material. So the first layer is the atoms in red color, the second in green color, then blue color, again red, green and blue. The purple ions, they are striking on the surface of this material, and as a result, the atoms which are present on the first layer, red atoms, they are sputtered off. In addition to red atoms, the green atoms and blue atoms which are present on the second layer and third layer on the surface of the material, they are also ejected. So the sputtering can be occurred just on the first layer of atoms or second or third, even on more layers of the atoms. So this is a simple procedure of sputtering. Now we will talk about basic principle, basics of the sputtering process. When bombarding a surface with ions, various effects may occur depending on the ions used and their kinetic energy. These various effects have already been discussed here. We will again discuss them. For example, material is removed from the bombarded target and this target is actually cathode. We will discuss about it later why it is cathode. So this is a simple sputtering process. The ions are incorporated into the target material and enter there. Possibly a chemical reaction may occur and a chemical compound can form. So this effect is then called reactive ion implantation. The third effect can be the ions which are striking on the surface of the target. They condense on the bombarded substrate where they form a layer. So this process is called ion beam deposition. If a material removal is intended, the ions must have a certain minimum energy. This means that if we want to remove the atoms or ions from the surface of a material and we are using some incident ions, so these incident ions must have a certain minimum energy which is required to remove the atoms or ions from the surface. The impinging ion transmits its impulse to atoms of the bombarded material which is target, which then trigger further collisions. After several collisions, some of the target atoms have a momentum away from the target interior. If such an atom is sufficiently close to the surface and has sufficiently high energy, it leaves the target material. The sputter yield depends essentially on the kinetic energy and mass of the ions which are striking to the target material and also on the binding of the surface of the target material and their masses. So the sputtering depends upon the masses of the incident ions and also the mass of the surface atoms which are present on the target. The sputtering yield also depends upon kinetic energy of incident ions and binding energy of those atoms which are present on the target surface. So in order to eject an atom from the target, the ions must have material dependent minimum energy, and this energy is typically ranges from 30 to 50 electron volts or 3000 to 30,000 to 50,000 kilo electron volt. The ratio of the mass of incident ion and the target atom determines the possible momentum transfer. So for light target atoms, maximum yield is achieved when the mass of the target ion approximately matches the mass of the incident ion. However, as the mass of the target atom increases, the maximum of the yield shifts to ever high mass ratios between the ions and the target atom. The ion bombardment generates not only neutral atoms but also secondary electrons and to a lesser extent secondary ions and cluster of different masses. So the incident ions, when they strike to the surface of the target material, it ejects neutral atoms. It also ejects secondary ions. In addition to the secondary ions, secondary electrons are formed. So the number of secondary ions and secondary electrons might be equal. The energy distribution of the dissolved atoms has a maximum at half the surface binding energy, but falls to high energies only slowly, so that the average energy is often an order of magnitude above. So this effect of energy is exploited in analysis methods of surface physics and thin film technology, as well as for the production of thin layers on the surface of substrates, which is also called sputter deposition. Sputtering can be examined by using sputter yield, that how much sputtering has been done. Sputter yield is represented by S, that is equal to number of sputtered atoms divided by number of incident ions. Sputter yield depends on type of target atom, binding energy of target atoms, relative mass of incident ions and target atoms, incident ion energy, angle of incidence of ions. So the S can range from 0.1 to 10, or in some books it is given 0.1 to 4. In this figure, the upper figure we can see on the y-axis it is sputtering and on the x-axis it is energy of the incident ions. So we can see as the energy increases, the sputter yield also increases up to a maximum near 1000 electron volt energy. In the lower figure we can see the relationship between the angle of the incident and the sputter yield. So as the angle of incident increases from 0 to 60, the sputter yield also increases, and the sputter yield is maximum between 60 and 70. After that, as the angle increases more, the sputter yield decreases and again it becomes 0 at 90-degree angle. So to get a better sputter yield, we should use the high energy incident ions, and the angle of incident should be in between 60 to 70. So this is all about the first lecture of sputtering or sputtering 1. In next lecture we will discuss more about sputtering process. Thank you very much.